All right. Happy Monday, everybody. We are Dee and Larry Corchin. Really glad you guys are here. And if you are one of our newer coaches, I'm glad you are joining us because we come together every Monday night for our team time, really to connect as a community and just really learn to grow and be a part of something big. How many of you guys just put a yes in the comments? We're totally blown away by the Together We Rise Summit this weekend. Yeah, it was so good. And we thought we'd come out tonight and talk a little bit. We always talk with a little bit of inspiration. But if you watch Dan and Megan Valentine on the very first day, they talked about dreaming. And that's one of my favorite things to do as a coach is to awaken people and coaching and ask questions. But I thought she had a gem of a question, which you'll probably, every one of you hear it from me at some point. But I loved when she asked the question, wouldn't it be cool if? And then she just challenged us to make a list. And really want to encourage you guys to do that. And just if you could think about your future in terms of if you couldn't fail, wouldn't it be cool if? And the one thing about Optavia, and I think you probably all picked up on this from the event, is Optavia is all about heart. Anything that Optavia provides for us is to allow for freedom in our life. So we had a couple of smaller wins along the way. Larry and I were definitely people that were in the good enoughism stage, like our life was good for a long time. And so we've always played it safe. We were very, right? We played it safe. But then after a while, we started to dream and we eased into it. And then small wins, of course, present bigger. But one of the first big wins was when we said, wouldn't it be cool if Larry could leave his career, and that we were able to make happen. And then one of the others was a year ago, we declared, wouldn't it be cool if we owned a mountain home? And here we are sitting in it. And what these two things do for us, I mean, the number one thing we like to advise, we still are conservative. So if you are, we want you to dream big, but we also want you to be smart. Never spend money you don't have yet. But what this did for us was it provided for freedom, right? For Larry not to have to go into a corporate job all the time gave freedom to us. One, to be able to help more people who are on this call tonight, but also they didn't have to go into a job. Sure. And then by having this house now be able to, create memories, not only for our family, but we have a dream that we'll be able to bring some of you guys here, to be able to dream bigger and have workshops and retreats and things like that. So if something came to mind to you over the weekend and you're so bold to write it down and share it in the chat, wouldn't it be cool if? We would love to see our chat just blow up a little bit with some fun dreams. Somebody's going to be bold. We'll just wait. Nice. Home on the water. Oh, beach homes.
Yep.
Very nice. Free from debt. An RV, travel the country. That would be awesome. Retire early. Ooh, a team of 10 EDs who each have 10 EDs and a mountain home. Oh, go Shauna. Love it.
Mountain house on a lake.
There you go. That's the best of both worlds, water and a lake house. Oh, mountain house. Very cool. Look at this. Yeah.
Pay off debt. Amen.
Yeah. So we are here to work with you. You guys, we're all about, you got to do the work, and we're going to talk a lot about that tonight in terms of what it takes. We can get inspired. We can have great ideas, but then how do you put that into motion? And then how do you stay consistent with it? One thing I do want to announce before we have some of our awesome team members share about the event is we just got an announcement about a really cool incentive that Optavia is offering. You guys, we can't beat what Optavia does for us, and they're going to talk about it on Dr. A's call tonight, and you'll get an email tomorrow with all the details, but we feel really lucky that we can share this with you tonight.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. But starting today, and this goes all the way until January 3rd, for every new coach that you add to your team that acquires their 5 clients in their first 30 days, the company is going to double their client assist bonus. So instead of getting $100, they're going to get $200. So how is that for some holiday incentive? And then not only that, because we know that the company knows you're going to be working hard with them to make that happen, that they're also going to double your client assist bonus. So they'll get an extra $100 and you'll get an extra $100. And there is absolutely no limit to this. So as many coaches, this is a perfect time of year to be offering coaching as people are looking to the future, maybe worried about their finances, et cetera. We know, especially if you were on this weekend, you just know what a gift this is.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's exciting to see that, again, the company's always trying to help us grow our business and, again, just continue. I mean, we want to be number one, right? Number two fastest growing company. This company is really looking to incent us, but also do the right thing as far as helping America and the world.
Yeah, so I love this incentive. So again, tune in tonight on the 8 o'clock call. And then after that at 8:30, the field training is going to be on setting up the stage for a great new year. So all the things that we can be doing now. And we're going to have some tips at the end of the call today that Larry's going to be sharing about how to use the holidays the next few weeks to connect with people, even if we won't be able to connect as much in person. But what we wanted to do tonight was do some debrief on the Together We Rise conference. There is nothing like an Optavia event to shoot our energy, right? Give us that boost of energy. And the most important thing is that we don't, one of my favorite phrases is not making it a jacuzzi experience, where you get in the water and it's all warm and you're like, ooh, that was great. And then Monday morning comes and we go back to doing what we've always done before, right? So it's really to take what you've learned, that energy, and to put it into action. And I don't know about you, but it seems like almost every time I go to an event, I'm fired up. And then the next day I get somebody cancel their Premier account, or somebody doesn't answer my call, or somebody else is not nearly as excited as I was, about it. So just realize that is part of the journey, that we are in the business of awakening other people. And I would say most of us on this call are wide awake. We're wide awake. We know what's available to us, but not everybody does. So remember, we are gently awakening the world to what we have. So I thought we'd start tonight with Lisa Bloom. And Lisa's been coaching for a couple of years. She is one person that always walks away from events full of action and activity. And so Lisa, if you'll just come on, share some of your takeaways and what you're doing with all that.
Yeah, thank you, Dee. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know, I get so fired up at events, and I will admit that in this time of virtual events, I have not been as fired up about them as I was about this one. I mean, I made a binder in the whole bit over this one. And I think a couple of things that were exciting. I tried to create a situation like an in-person event, and I had a Zoom debrief kind of in the break with the members of my team that wanted to join, and I think that was great. And I'd recommend that for other teams if you haven't done that. Like tonight is great, but also in a smaller environment. And the wouldn't it be cool if I scheduled a session with my team tomorrow night to answer that question and to talk about creating a vision board and what that can mean, and to dream a little bit and talk about that. So, and honestly, you guys, if anybody on this call wants to join us, it's not like I don't need to limit it to my team. If anybody wants to hop on, you're welcome to join. Just shoot me a message. I think that one of the biggest takeaways for me, so Joanna Mitchell is just incredible. And I was sharing with somebody today, I had a personal experience with her during Doug Wood's Church Boy to Millionaire tour. And she was one of the speakers, and I was very emotional during, when that ended, and she came down and we struck up a conversation, and she ended up just pouring into me and praying over me. And it made such an impact on me. And the way she was, you guys, the way she was on Saturday is exactly how she is in person and with you. And I think I've probably heard her say some of these things before, all the things that we're hearing, we hear, and at different times we hear them in a different way that we need to. And when she said, decide who you are, and the words, and I wrote it down, without anything from your past or any present evidence, even if there is not evidence yet. And I just stood up straight and I thought, okay, well, I've already decided who I am, but why am I not like being that way? And it never occurred to me that I had to make the choice to show up that way in every single moment, right? I thought I could just declare that that's who I am and how I was going to show up. And I thought that if I got to a certain rank, I would be that person that's at that rank. And I'm telling you, I have been beaten down hard by the fact that that is not true. You do, you know, you think you've arrived, or you look at somebody like Dee and Larry, or you look at somebody, you know, who's further down the path of coaching, and you think, oh, they've arrived, they've got it all together. Oh no, we don't. We really don't. Just like we have to contend for our lives, we have to contend for ourselves as leaders. We have to contend for how we are going to show up as leaders, and we have to do that on a more regular basis than I ever wanted to believe or imagine. So I think that was one of the biggest things. And then a couple of other things that stood out to me is, I don't remember who said it, but they said, you have a cure for the disease of obesity. And that was powerful to me. And it was followed by action creates peace in our lives. And, you know, we think about action, and not the frenetic action, but the action of making that phone call, or following up, or taking the next step. Somebody said your social media should scream hope, because if you're holding back, that means your emotions are more important than somebody else's health. So I want to scream hope. I want people to know that I have that cure for obesity. And I want that action that's going to create peace in my life, because when I'm not in action and I'm sitting around looking at all the things that I want to do, or should do, or could do, or would do, that chips away at me, and that keeps me from showing up as the leader that I want to be. So that's all I've got.
Lisa, always awesome when you share and you dive into your heart. So we're just so thankful that, again, it had an impact. You know, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, when we go to events, they have impacts. They awaken us to really, you know, like you said, you never arrive, right? This is a journey of growth, and we grow every single day, every single month, every single year. And we've got to stay in the game, because if we don't grow, we become stale. You know, so I just I love what you picked up out of it. I love the fact that, again, it jazzed you. It scares us, right? I mean, sometimes growth is scary, but again, the obstacle's away and we push through it. So awesome. Thank you for just summing that up for us. And you know, just again, always great words from you. Thank you.
I saw somebody else just commented about the social media screaming hope. And that really resonated with me too. I was really questioning myself, like, am I really stepping out and being as bold as I could be in terms of sharing hope? And so a good question for all of us to ask. Well, you know, events are what changed me, as, you know, really helped me realize, one, I could be an executive director, that two, then I could go into these other ranks. So I attend events, honestly, you guys, now through the eyes of newer coaches, because I get so excited for a newer coach, because I'm just, it's like when you take your children to Disney, right? Like, you want them to experience what's really possible. So was very excited to have Jennifer Sicilian attend. Jennifer just started coaching the middle of October. She's been off to a great start. I think you finished as manager your first month, but I know that this event really exposed you to more, Jennifer. So we'd love to hear from you, from your perspective.
All right, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I am a teacher and a public speaker, so I had to write down what I wanted to say to you guys, because I was scared I would run over my 3 minutes. So thanks for asking me to talk. Dee asked me to speak for a few minutes on my takeaways from Saturday's training and how they're affecting my energy now as a new coach in the future of my business. So my main takeaway was the word fear. In all of my notes, there was a theme of fear in some form from each of the speakers. We all have fear, but how we respond to it is what's most important. If you haven't watched Saturday's training yet, I encourage you to listen for the theme of fear and how to handle it in each speaker's talk. When Joanna Mitchell spoke, I found myself saying, yes, 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 to so many things she was sharing. She said she was fearful of being her coach's first failure. She encouraged us to honor that struggle and to borrow courage from a coach when we needed it, because we can do this. She said, we actually don't have failure. Instead, we have feedback. And in the process, we're going to grow and learn from that feedback. I just loved that. So my response to Dee's question of how I'm using Saturday's training to affect my energy, I would say I'm turning my fear into freedom. When Dawn Fisher said it so nicely Saturday, she posed a question asking, am I showing up to people in fear or am I showing up in love? You see, when I became a coach, I became a coach because this program changed my life. I truly believe joy exudes out of me when I talk about Optavia, and it's what attracts others to the program. What if the person who had shared with me let her fear overtake her instead? I could still be living in bondage with food. Instead, she approached me in love, and I am here today. Chains are broken from food, praise God, and I'm coaching others on this journey. Freedom is the word that describes coaching, not fear. Freedom is the word that drives my energy. People need this program. This could be their cure to obesity. It was for me. Who am I to let my fear stop them from fully experiencing life? I would even venture to say that letting my fear rule me would be a selfish approach to not sharing with others. When I approach my clients and my prospective clients out of love, we can all experience freedom. I will leave you with what Brad Miller described fear. He said, false evidence appearing real. Let me say that again. False evidence appearing real. Often, we think we are fearful of what's not even there. It's simply our own insecurities. So I challenge you with this. How are you dealing with fear? Are you hiding something that could change another person's world? Or are you embracing your fear while borrowing your coach's courage to get it done? For me, I'm looking forward to what is going to happen a week from now, a month from now, and a year from now, because I'm going to start working my business out of love and freedom, not fear. Thank you.
That's so good, Jennifer. Love it, love it, love it. You get it. You get it. Somebody asked me one year, I'm a big word of the year person, and my word one year was courage. And I've had people say to me, how are you so courageous, or how are you so confident? But courage is really just taking action in the face of fear, right? It doesn't mean that we're confident that we don't have fear. We take action in the face of fear. And when my word of the year was courage, every time I was faced with something scary, I would ask myself, okay, Dee, what's the courageous thing to do? And that's always going to be the thing that's going to move us forward. So I'm excited for you, Jennifer.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, Jennifer, this is the first time you spoke on tonight. I'm sure you're a little nervous, but that's what we're about here on this call, right? We learn from each other, right? And this is a safe place for us to grow from that perspective. So again, thank you for sharing and great wisdom. Thank you for that tonight. All righty, now we're going over to our buddy Frank. Frank, are you there? And Shauna, sorry.
Unmute.
Unmute, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was clicking the wrong thing.
There you go.
Yeah. So thanks for allowing us to speak. Shauna, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you always want to go first so you can get the things that were really on your list before somebody else says them. And Lisa and Jennifer, I mean, gosh, it was powerful. I love Joanna Mitchell, so anything she says is gold to me. But she said, there was a kind of a combination of what she said and then something Megan Valentine said about this life is for me, but it ain't about me. That was Joanna Mitchell. And then Megan said, when there is no expectation for success or belief for good, this is where hopelessness lives. And so when I think about those two together, we come into this and it's all about us in the beginning. We want this so bad and we want to build this, and it's kind of, this is for us, right? We're building this great thing and we're on this program. And then there's a shift somewhere where we realize we've got such a gift to give other people. And that was so impactful when Megan talked about, where there's no expectation of success or belief for good, that's where hopelessness lives. And it just broke my heart because there's so many people out there living in that. They know no better. They think their whole life is going to be this path that they've set, and they don't see an end in sight. And we have such an amazing gift. And it just really renewed my spirit for sharing this unapologetically, which is another thing that they talked about when you live an integrated life. You're unapologetic about what you're doing. And the naysayers and the doubters, they don't even matter anymore because we do have something so powerful to give. So that kind of got me renewed and excited this weekend.
Yeah. And real quick, 3 things kind of stood out to me this weekend. The first thing that stood out to me, I don't know if anybody picked up on this. It was free, right? It didn't cost us anything. No registration fee, no travel, no hotel, nothing. We didn't have to pay the speakers. We didn't have to pay for video. We didn't have to pay for the information. Nothing. How many companies would do that?
Yeah.
How many companies would train even their top leaders for free? Virtually none, if any. So what we have here is just amazing. We have an amazing company. The second thing that kind of really stood out to me was, as I watched all the speakers, I noticed they were young, they were old, they were Black, they were white, they were Oriental, they were from all walks of life. Coaching is not a square peg in a square hole or a round peg in a round hole. It's for all walks of life, all people, young, old, and we all have something in common. We all have a passion for people. We all possess certain values like honesty, integrity, accountability. But aside from that, anybody can do this. So don't limit yourself. And the other thing I really picked up on was, if you want to have a big business, treat it like a furniture store. So one of the IPD said, just treat it like a furniture store. Do you notice that every furniture store is open 7 days a week? They open their doors 7 days a week. And if you want a big business, open your store 7 days a week. And it's sad when I see so many coaches have so much potential and they visit their store 1 time a week or twice a week or 2 times a month. Well, if you don't want a big business, that's okay. But if you want a big business, treat it like a furniture store. And finally, on a breakout Zoom, there was a lady, and she started her coaching business at the age of 61. I think her name was Leanne. 61, she started her coaching business. And the reason that was so impactful to me, because I'm kind of approaching that age. And she went IPD in 3 years. 3 years at the age of 61. And I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves to other people, but to me, that was like, wow. She took all my excuses away. If she could do it from 61 to 64 as an IPD, what's holding me back, right? So those are my takeaways. I thought it was a phenomenal event, and I'm excited for the future. Thank you, Dee and Larry.
Thanks, Frank and Shauna. That was those are really good insights. Again, see, there's still so much that came out of Saturday, right? You guys were worried about sharing, but no, excellent points. And I really want to kind of wrap up tonight and just talk about what we have coming up. We have the holidays coming up, but I really want to go back to what kind of Frank said about our company. All right. So the first thing is you're coaches. Right? You're coaches, you've made your investment as a coach already, right? It is I don't want to say easiest, because we know there's tough, but the bottom line is you have the structure, you have the support, you have everything you need to, again, bring the hope that Lisa was talking about, Jennifer was talking about, what they were talking about on Saturday, to people that so desperately need it. Right? So we have a world that's hurting. We have a world of need. We have a structured program. Again, we can do whatever we want to do with the support of everybody here and the company. So again, that's what makes this so cool, so we can all be successful. We can all reach our dreams and our mission. All right. So Thanksgiving's coming, and Christmas will be soon right after that, as we know. This year's different, right? We know, right? 2020, COVID, all this kind of stuff. I think, are we supposed to be wearing a mask inside? I don't know, wherever I am, right? But the bottom line is there's a lot of funk out there. There's a lot of people that are unhappy because they're not going to see family. They're afraid to see family from that perspective, right? We have to share hope, right? We know things will get better, okay? So again, be the light in not just your families, but your friends, your relationships that are out there. Be the light and share that. With the holidays, I can imagine that it's going to be a little quieter in the house, okay? Whatever house you're in, all right? So from that perspective, a lot of times I hear this consistently from coaches, it's hard to meet people right now. The holidays are a perfect time to do a Zoom with friends and family, see how they're doing, connect with them, make phone calls, call up Aunt Mary, Cousin Bob, whatever it may be, right? Reach out and see how they're doing and be there. Because again, they may be afraid to pick up the phone. They may be afraid because they're going to pick up the phone and they may cry. They may cry, but that's what Thanksgiving's about, right? Being thankful for what we have and our friends and family. So be that encouragement for people, okay? That is what we do as coaches, okay? And if you need encouragement, call us up, okay? I know there's coaches out there that are struggling, okay? Call your mentorship, call anybody on this line, okay? I guarantee you, nobody is going to turn you away, okay? The next thing, health's so very important at the holidays, right? Everybody's thinking about health this year. COVID, what's going on? Everybody's talking about health. I think it's an easy conversation to say, hey, what's going on in the world and how we can be that impact and help people in the world. Let's see, ask existing clients if they would share on social media, right? So we talked about, again, showing hope, okay? Ask your clients if they can share that hope as well. All right. So many clients that are successful out there, use them to help on the mission. Okay. Because that's what it's about. Okay. And there's a lot of people that are still at risk out there. All right. As far as their health. So again, getting healthy through this COVID and everything is just going to make them stronger. And lastly, again, I don't know about you, but I joke around with Dee. I don't think I need any clothes or anything for Christmas this year. Okay. I haven't gone out. Okay. So I don't need any gifts. The gift of just being healthy with family and connecting is what I need. So again, that's another part of your messaging, again, as you go through this holiday season. So I took down these notes. I jotted them down. I wanted to share with you. I'll put it out on the coaches page as well. And please use them as you see fit with your network of people and family and friends. So, all right.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that, I was just sharing with another coach today, would encourage you to reach out to your inactive clients as well. Just make out a few phone calls, see how people are doing with their health. How are they doing through this season? Because, people know our program works. But it's been a rough year, right? We've had a lot of people who've come and gone on and off the program. So reaching back out, I always just try to have an open door policy with people. I know that making change for people is hard, but I always want them to know that my door is open anytime they want to come back. So reaching out to your inactives can be a really great idea as well. We will continue to do some training over the next few weeks on how to offer the gift of coaching to individuals. Really encourage you to take advantage of the processes we have in place and go ahead and schedule tips calls and coach explore calls with the next fully integrated business coach in your line. That is really why that system is in place, so that together we can share this gift and be able to answer questions, especially if you're newer or not sure how to share about coaching. But when from Saturday's event, I'm just always reminded that is a huge piece of what we offer. So if you've been in the mindset of just offering weight loss and the health program, just remember there's this whole other component as well.
All right. Well, it's 7:59. It's a wrap. Again, remember to dream. Think big. What if? All right. And again, we've got some training now from Dr. Anderson. So glad you guys are here. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you guys all, and have a great week.
All right,
Take
we'll
care.
see you next week. Thanks.
Bye.